Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to use this gellen builder in a tube, builder gel in a tube that I swatched just recently. I prepared these nails last night and they've been laying overnight, so I was just giving them a quick clean there with some alcohol. So these are the tips I'm using. These are the short little stiletto that I've got. I just used these recently. I really like the shape of them. So I'm just using regular brush on nail glue, and I just glue it on to the tip of my nail, hold it down just for a couple of seconds, and I always pinch it in at the sides as well, just to make sure the sides are stuck down. And because they bulge out a little bit, these tips, I prefer my stiletto to be more straight than kind of bulged out. So I've just filed them a little bit straighter at the edges, and now where it's been glued on, I'm just blending that into the natural nail. Make sure them side wings are blended in nice and neat. Then I'm just going quickly over with a buffer, get rid of all that shiny surface off that nail tip. Gel won't stick to a shiny surface. So I'm going in with a base coat. Normally when I'm using a builder gel, I'll normally just do a slip layer and rub the gel into the nail. But because I'm not using a brush, I'm using the nozzle from the builder in a tube, I thought I'll just give them a base coat today. Normally you'd need to use a dehydrator and a primer before this. Yeah, so that's been cured now for 30 seconds. So what I'm doing with this builder in a tube, I'm just mapping out with a really thin layer where I want that nail bed to be, and then just kind of fill in the gap. I'm just starting with a really thin layer. This is just a thin layer just to help me see exactly where I want that nail bed to be. Get it tucked up nice and neat into that cuticle area. Try and keep it as thin as you can at the cuticle area. And just use the nozzle like you would a brush. Just use the nozzle to move it around the nail and just swipe it around, circular motions. And I'm going to just give that a quick half a cure for 30 seconds. And I do work in thin layers with this builder in a tube. It's quite tricky to use, but I really enjoy using it. So again, these next two layers that I'm doing, exactly the same, but I'm just going to build up a bit of apex and just build that nail bed up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to give it a full cure for 60 seconds. Right, so I've done that ring finger off camera because it's exactly the same as what I've just done. So now I'm just going to quickly file these nail beds. I'll just quickly show you filing this one. So I always file over the top first, and then I'll go in with a metal file because they're really thin, these metal files, brilliant for nail beds like this. And then I'll just keep swiping around the sides and around the front just to get it nice and neat and straight. And then I'll go over it with a buffer just to buff off and smooth it out a little bit. Right, so now I'm going to go on to the pointer finger. I've pulled out this, it's a really cheap builder gel. I've never used it before, and I'll never use it again. It's going in the bin. It was more like gel paint. It was so runny. But I persevered and used it. I won't be using it again. It's absolutely crap. I don't know why I used it. I don't know why I used it. Anyway, I'm just doing a quick slip layer first, really thin layer, and that just helps this next layer glide. Yeah, doing a slip layer with builder gel, it just helps that next bead that you put on, it just helps it glide over the nail a lot better. So I'm just going to do a couple of thin layers with this white. I think I initially used this white because of how opaque it was. I didn't want to waste the builder in a tube building a full nail just to paint it white with a gel polish. So I think that was my thinking with this, because it was so opaque. I thought I'll use that, but no, it were crap. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick couple of layers. I'm going to cure each layer for 60 seconds because it is so opaque. I'm giving each layer a full cure. Right, so now these nail beds, I'm just using that same white, and I'm just going to fill this free edge with the white now. I'm just using a small, tiny little skinny gel brush just to get it right up into them corners, completely covering that free edge, and then they're going to get a 60 second cure as well. So this pinky, I'm just going to paint the free edge and just fade it off 3/4 up the nail, because I'm going to be using the builder in a tube and just doing a fade like a nail bed, but instead of it being rounded off at the end, I'm going to fade the builder in a tube down the nail. So I pulled out this glitter. This was originally from She Modern. She doesn't sell them anymore, but it's just a black hollow. It's tiny hex and it's got a fine in there as well. And I've pulled this foil out. This is from Charlie's Nail Art. I've got a 10% discount code for Charlie's as well, guys. It's always in my description box with the website. So I'm using a base coat, and I'm just going to do a little glitter fade on this nail and one of the nail beds and the pointer finger. Just a tiny little fade off the tip of those nails, and I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds as well. Right, now that glitter's all been cured into place, I'm going to do this little fade on this pinky nail. So pretty much the same as what I did with the other nails, but I am having to use a brush with this because there's no way I could have faded it down the nail using the nozzle from the tube. So I do use a brush on this set. Again, I'm just doing a thin layer, curing it for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to do a second layer and then give it a full cure for 60 seconds. Yeah, I just use a brush. Pull it down as far down as you want that fade to go, and then just feather it off with a brush down the nail. Guys, that's them all filed, so I'm just going to top coat this middle finger because I'm putting foil on this top coat. I didn't want to put the foil glue straight over that buffed nail, and I'm thinking back now, why did I not just put, I don't know, but yeah, I top coat this middle nail, then I'm going to give it a coat of my cork foil glue, and I'm just going to stick just a couple of flowers. I'm going to cut out a little piece of that foil and just stick it slightly to the left hand side. That McCort foil glue, you have to cure that for 30 seconds. So I'm just using a silicone tweezer tool and just getting that flower rubbed in. I did miss a couple of tiny bits actually, which doesn't normally happen with this McCort foil glue, but I think it's where a couple of the creases in the foil were. So I just kept placing it back on and patching it up till I got it the best I could. It turned out alright actually. Now can you see on that ring finger, the kind of yellow line, it ends right at the tip. Where that nail bed finishes, you can see the discoloration where it's yellow on the tip. And that is that cheap shit gel that I used. And you can see the yellow tip on that nail. I've just put the foil on. So disappointed with myself for using it, but I wasn't to know. Thought I could get away with using cheap shit. Turns out you can't. But they're still really, really pretty. And yeah, I've learnt a lesson today. Don't use cheap shit. So I'm sticking some gems on now with rhinestone glue. You have to cure that in the lamp for 60 seconds as well. I'm going to get them top coated and that'll be the... I'm going to what? I'm going to what? I'm going to get them top coated and that'll be then finished. That's what I'm trying to say. There we are, that's them finished. I absolutely love them. I'm so peed off with that. Can you see on the ring finger? You can see it, can't you? And you can see the yellow tip on the flowery nail as well, can't you? But they're really, really pretty. I really like the design. It's just such a shame about that shitty yellow clear gel. Anyway guys, that is it for today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. And hopefully I'll see you all in my next one. Take care. Bye.